Alright, so today we're going to multiply polynomials. This is section 7.4. Essential questions: how do you multiply polynomials and what are the exponent rules you have to remember? So the exponent rules I want you to remember are this. When you are multiplying with like bases, as in x squared times x to the third, the base is x on both of these, you add the exponents. So that would answer to that would be x to the fifth power. If you have coefficients, say 2x to the third times negative 7x to the fourth, you're going to multiply the the negative 7 and the positive 2 and get 14, and you're going to add the exponents and get 7. Right? That's basically the only thing we'll have here. The other will be if you're when you're combining like terms, you keep them. So you can see at the top, when you multiply, add the exponents. When combining like terms, keep the exponents the same. So we're going to start out with distributive property, where you multiply what's on the outside of the parentheses by everything on the inside. 3b times 5b is 15b squared. Remember, both of those have an exponent, invisible 1. Then you multiply 3b times 8. That gives you 24b squared. I'm sorry, just 24b. Since those exponents do not match, they are not like terms, that is all you can do. Moving over to number 2, you're going to multiply 5y times everything. 5y times y squared gives you 5y to the third power. 5y times a negative 3y gives you a negative 15y squared. And then 5y times 6 is a positive 30y. Again, no like terms. Exponents are all different. Those cannot be added together. Number 3. Now we have two variables. Again, both of those have an exponent of 1. 7 times 5 is 35. X times x squared makes that x to the third. And then you just have a y. Then we're going to multiply 7xy times y squared. That's going to stay 7. And x, and now we have a y times y squared gives us a y to the third. Even though you see exponents of 3, they are not with the same variable, thus they cannot be combined. Number 4, you have a negative ab that we're going to multiply. So that's going to make that a negative 3ab to the third. Negative times 4 makes that a negative 4. A times a is a squared. B times b is b squared. And then the last term is going to make that a positive 6a to the third b. Again, exponents don't match up with the same letter, so they cannot be combined. So now we're going to move on to what we call double distributing, where we're going to multiply two binomials together. If you remember from what we did last time with adding, the large tiles represent x squared, the rectangular tiles represent x's, and the small little ones are 1s. So if you look at these, the factors are the things that are multiplied together, basically what's on the outside. So right here you have x plus 2. On the side you also have x plus 2. So our factors are x plus 2 times x plus 2. And we're creating a model where we say, what is x wide by x long? Well, that's an x squared. And then you have an x times 2, which gives you 2 x's here. They're both positive. 2 times x gives you 2 x's here. And then you've got 2 times 2, which gives you 4 1s here. Then we're going to combine. You'll see there diagonally, you have 2x and 2x. So the product, or the answer, is x squared plus 4x plus 4. Moving to the next one. The top, we have 2 x's right here. These are darker, so that means they're negative. So we have a negative 2. On the side we have an x and a negative 1. So when you multiply x times x, this gives you an x squared here and an x squared here. And you have, these should be shaded in because you're going to have 2 negative x's here. That's a negative 2x. Down here you're going to have also a negative 2x because you're multiplying a negative 1. And then when you multiply a negative times a negative, that makes that a positive 2. So our factors, on the top we have 2x minus 2. On the side we have x minus 1. When we combine our terms, looking at all the tiles we have 2 x squares here. We have 4 negative x's. and plus 2 is the total if we count up all the tiles. So I'm going to show you two different ways to do these problems. One is called the box or an area method, and the other is called double distributive. So we're going to start with double distributive. Okay, double. Some people just say distributive. I say double distributive. If you go home and ask your parents about it, they're going to say, oh, this is FOIL. Okay, but this is what I'm going to do. We're going to take the first term and we're going to split it apart into two parts. And then we're going to take the second term and we're going to write it down twice. So what we are doing is distributing the first term, or everything in the first term, by everything in the second term. We split the x and the 3, and we're going to multiply each of those by x and 4. So x times x is x squared, x times 4 is 4x, 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times 4 is 12. Then you'll notice you have some x's here in the middle. Those can be put together. So you have x squared plus 7x plus 12. And that's your answer. That is the product. Now I'm going to do a problem that's just like it, except I'm going to use the box method, which is kind of what we showed on the other side. I said you just draw it just a little bit differently. I'm not going to make you draw in all of the little tiles. We're going to put the factors on the outside. So I'm going to put x minus 6 on the top and x plus 5 on the bottom, on the side. And it doesn't really matter which one you put on the top and which one you put on the side, but make sure you include the negatives. So now we're basically finding the area of each box. X times x is x squared. X times negative 6 is a negative 6x. X times 5 is 5x. 5 times negative 6 is negative 30. And again, you'll see some x terms that can be combined. They're diagonal. So x squared, 5 and negative 6 is a negative 1x, or just negative x, minus 30. So when you multiply x minus 6 times x plus 5, you're going to get x squared minus x minus 30. This is something you could check in your calculator. Put the question in y1, answer in y2. Okay, for number 3, we're going to go back to double distributive. So again, I'm going to take the 5x plus 3 and split it. And then I'm going to write the second term, I'm going to write it down twice, because it needs to be multiplied by both the 5x and the 3. So negative 5x times negative x gives you a positive 5x squared. Negative 5 times negative 4 is a positive 20x. 3 times negative x is a negative 3x. 3 times negative 4 is a negative 12. Again, look in the middle. Got some like terms. 5x squared plus 17x minus 12. Number 4. We're going to do a box method again, and you may have noticed that this one's a little bit bigger. It's not a 2 by 2. It's a 2 by 3, but we can still use our box method. I'm going to put x plus 2 on the side, and then I'm going to put x squared minus 5x plus 6 in the top, and then I'm going to multiply. X times x squared, don't forget about that, that gives me x to the third. X times negative 5x gives me negative 5x squared. X times 6 gives me 6x. 2 times x squared is a 2x squared. 2 times 5x is negative 10x. 2 times 6 is 12. This is kind of like those Punnett squares y'all do in biology. That look familiar at all? Now, this time, you're going to have two different terms you can combine. So you have an x to the third power. 2x squared minus 5x squared gives you a negative 3x squared. Notice the exponents stay the same. Negative 10 plus 6 is negative 4x. And then you got that 12 hanging out there. Again, check them. Question in y1, answer in y2. Go to the table and make sure they match. Number 5, find the area of a rectangle with a length of x plus 2 feet and a width of x plus 10 feet. Okay, so you may remember area is length times width. So what they're asking us to do here is x plus 2 times x plus 10. So let's do double distributive. I'm going to do x times x plus 10, and then I'm going to do 2 times x plus 10. Again, I just split the first one. Okay, I split this one apart. X times x is x squared, x times 10 is 10x, 2 times x, and 20. Combine those terms in the middle. There you go. Number 6, find the length of a square board. Oh, the length of a square board is 2x minus 3. Find the area. So again, length times width, but that means they're both the same, so it's that squared, which means 2x minus 3 times 2x minus 3. And let's go ahead and do this one with the box method. I'm showing you both of these. You can use whichever one you prefer when you're doing your work. Well, no, I take that back. Some of the, on one side of the paper you're doing the double distributive, on one side you're doing the box, and then from then on you'll be able to choose your method. So I'm just multiplying to find the area of each box. So I've got 4x squared, negative 6x, and negative 6x is negative 12x plus 9. So when you're multiplying binomials by binomials or polynomials, just make sure you're multiplying by everything, each term by everything, not leaving anything out. After you've taken these notes, then you can go and work on your assignment. Also, I've sent you by remind a answer sheet for the assignment you did last class, 7.3, so you can check 7.3 using the key that I've sent you and take these notes and then do your assignment. You're also going to do a little quick check over 7.3 just to make sure we kind of understand what's going on there. So you guys have a good day. I will be here after school Tuesday if you need help. I'll be here Wednesday before and after school, so come by and see me if you need some help. Have a good day.